Hello, I'm Stephanie Hernandez and I work in Eileen Anderson's lab at the Sue and Bill Gross Stem Cell Center. Our project focuses on enhancing immune tolerance for the long term survival of stem cells in the treatment of spinal cord injury. There are many ways someone could get a spinal cord injury, including car accidents, workplace injuries, sports, violence, or other unexpected accidents. These injuries can be life changing. Many patients require lifelong physical therapy and often lose the ability to live independently, needing assistance or caregivers. The first year of recovery can cost over $1 million, depending on the severity, and the mortality rate during the first year is high, often due to complications. Even with physical therapy or surgery, there is still a low chance of fully recovering function. So, first, what is the spinal cord? The spinal cord is a long, thin bundle of nervous tissue and cells that extends from the brainstem down to the center of the back. Your spinal cord is essentially your brain's connection to the rest of your body. It acts like a cable that carries signals back and forth. The brain sends signals down to your body to move, like walking or breathing, and your body sends signals back up, like touch, pain, or temperature. For example, if you touch a hot stove, your body sends a signal to your brain, and your brain quickly sends a signal back to move your hand away from the hot stove. But when the spinal cord is damaged, that communication is disrupted. It's like when a cable is broken, the signals can't travel. This leads to a loss of movement and paralysis to the rest of the body. The initial injury is the mechanical damage. Inside the spinal cord, there are specialized cells that are critical for function. Neurons are like long wires, called axons, that carry electrical signals. These are very fragile, and when they are damaged, the signal can no longer travel. Oligodendrocytes act like insulation. They wrap around axons in a layer called myelin, which helps signals move efficiently. When injuries occur, these cells die, leaving the wires naked and unable to properly send signals. After that, the immune system responds, and this is where things get more complicated. The body is trying to help but can actually make the damage worse. Microglia, which are the cleanup crew of the nervous system, come in to remove damaged tissue, but they release inflammatory chemicals called cytokines, which can also harm nearby healthy cells. Normally, the spinal cord is protected from the rest of the body by a blood brain barrier, but the injury breaks that protection, allowing more immune cells to enter, including T cells and B cells. These immune cells treat the spinal cord like an infection, causing more inflammation and more damage. Then the body forms something called a glial scar. This acts like a barrier to contain the damage, but it also blocks new nerve growth. So even if neurons try to regrow, they can't get through. This is why spinal cord injuries don't heal easily. The brain is still sending signals and the body is still capable of responding, but the connection between them is broken. This is where stem cells come in. Stem cells are like master cells that could turn into any different type of cell. In spinal cord injuries, they act like a repair system. In a spinal cord injury, they could replace lost neurons, oligodendrocytes, which help re-insulate axons and support new connections. They also release factors that reduce inflammation and support healing. However, one of the biggest challenges is something called failure of engraftment. This means the transplanted stem cells don't survive long enough to work. The injury site is a very harsh environment. There's low oxygen, toxic chemicals such as cytokines, and a strong immune response. One key part of this harsh immune response involves T cells. T cells are immune cells that can recognize transplanted stem cells as foreign and attack them, such as a virus or an infection. This is where our research comes in. We are working on ways to improve stem cell survival by controlling the immune response, specifically targeting T cells. One approach includes using biomaterial particles. These particles will actively protect the stem cells that we inject. They are designed to induce apoptosis in T cells. Apoptosis means programmed cell death. So instead of letting T cells continue attacking the transplanted stem cells, the environment signals these aggressive T cells to shut down in a controlled way. By reducing these harmful immune cells, the bioengineered particles help lower inflammation and prevent rejection. This creates a safer environment where stem cells can survive, integrate, and actually do their job. So the goal of our work isn't just to inject stem cells into the spinal cord, but create an environment where they can survive, function, and repair. With this treatment, we will be able to help people with spinal cord injuries and potentially lead to their full recovery of movements. Stem cell therapies for spinal cord injuries is still being researched. There is no complete cure, but there are very promising advancements in the field. Hopefully, one day we can find treatments for patients with spinal cord injuries to fully recover and be able to live an independent life.